Back on Energy Matters. Hi, everybody. I am Scott Hennon, and we continue 27 past the hour. Our next guest is Kevin Connors. Kevin is the Principal Policy and Regulatory Strategist at the Energy and Environmental Research Center. The Plains CO2 Reduction Partnership is something we're going to talk about right now and learn a little bit about right now on the program, talk about some of the changes taking place and how PCOR, as they're known, the Plains CO2 Reduction Partnership, is working to add infrastructure that would help with CO2 storage, because that holds us back quite a bit. Kevin, thanks for joining us today on the program. Tell us a little bit about what your top job is here with the PCOR partnership.
Yeah, Scott. Thanks for having me, first of all, and happy St. Patrick's Day. One of my favorite holidays of the year. So it's fun to get to be able to have some corned beef and cabbage. For the EERC, I've had the great opportunity here to be able to lead our Plains CO2 reduction partnership efforts. The PCOR partnership is now one of 4 regional carbon sequestration partnerships awarded by the U.S. Department of Energy. And of course, it's led by the EERC. We have over 120 public and private sector partners, which is really the strength of the program. And we're focused on permanent, safe underground storage of carbon dioxide in the region. It's a large region, and it was just recently expanded with the new PCOR initiative. And so this region consists of 10 U.S. states, 4 Canadian provinces, and so we're talking about 2.4 million square miles, or about 1/3 of the landmass in North America. So it's a large region that we're looking at.
Talk about how CO2 storage works for folks. I know that it's integral to obviously taking care of a problem from the coal industry, but from folks that have no interest in the coal industry, say, well, okay, if you store CO2 here, what's that mean? How does that? Where does it go? How does it disrupt my world? What would you tell them?
Well, it really starts out with the idea of managing the CO2. And so, from a technical, description, it's what we're doing is we're trying to capture the carbon dioxide emissions off of, a large stationary source like a coal-fired electrical generation facility. And once that carbon dioxide is captured, we want to take it over to an area with the appropriate geology to inject it deep in the earth, below any sort of drinking water, looking like, over a mile deep in most instances, and even deeper. And we want to inject it into a rock where it's either a sandstone type rock where you would just store it there long term, or ideally you could take that CO2 into a depleted oil reservoir and inject it to enhance the recovery of oil and gas.
So, for the energy industry, it's a game changer. And it sounds like you're saying how it's engineered, how you do what you do is not a concern to the environment or to anybody living here that they need to be concerned with. Well,
I think that's a great way to highlight the PCOR partnership, which is in this region, and it expands, across the northern Great Plains up into Canada, and now we're even going up into Alaska. And this is something that's been going on since 2003, so there's a long history there. And there was 3 phases leading up to today, where the first phase, the early phases, we're looking at the characterization, or in other words, making sure that the geology is there for the safe storage of CO2, and looking at and characterizing the major stationary sources. That led into a second phase where there was 4 small-scale field validation tests. That led into phase 3, which there's really 2 main commercial-scale demonstration projects, which then leads us today, which is called the PCOR Partnership Initiative. And that new initiative is building off of that 16 years of history, where we're really looking at taking everything we learned over that 16 years and accelerating the commercial deployment of these technologies in North Dakota and the region.
Fascinating. It really is, and we're going to keep watching it. Good luck working in partnership. It'll bring down a lot of those walls, and this is really, really important for the future of all of the above energy in North Dakota. Thanks a bunch.
Thanks, Scott.